What's going on YouTube? This is UltimateiDeviceVids, and in this video I'm going to be recapping 5 of the best Cydia tweaks that are currently available in Cydia for iOS 7. Now some of these tweaks were released this previous week and some of them actually today, and some of them were from previous weeks, but bottom line they're all compatible with iOS 7 and they're all very good tweaks, so let's begin. And the first tweak I'm going to show you guys is called Jelly Lock 7. It is free on Cydia on the Big Boss repo, and it will have the spelling for the tweak and both the developer's Twitter name down below in the description. Once you have installed it, what you want to do is go into settings on your device, and you're going to scroll down until you see Jelly Lock 7. Now what this tweak will allow you to do is add app shortcuts on your home screen so you can access applications quickly without even having to unlock your device. So I want to make sure the tweak is enabled right here. And if you make any changes to the settings that I'm about to show you, you will have to respring. There is a shortcut right here so you can do that. So the first thing is, of course, the app shortcuts. If you go in there, you get up to 5 shortcuts right here. You can just click on each of them and check the app that you want to show. And once you've configured all of those, down here there is an option to skip the passcode. However, that is a security risk. So basically when you launch apps from the lock screen, it's just going to bypass the passcode automatically. And if you want to, you could reset all shortcuts, just return all of these back to their default, which is just unchecked. And if we go back, there are some other things in behavior. You have the option to disable the default unlock, which on iOS 7 is basically the ability to slide anywhere, not on the designated area. And if we enable that, we'll also enable hide camera icon, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to hide the camera grabber at the bottom of the screen. So I'll enable that as well. And if you go down to appearance, there are some other settings. You could have it so the applications on the lock screen show badges or not, also whether the background is blurred, and these two are on by default. And if you guys are an iPad user, you will have this option, landscape left. And it's when entering landscape mode, the grabber will move to the right side of the screen for easy access with your thumb, and turning on landscape left will move it to the left side. So, but again, that's only for iPad users. And under color, you can actually choose the color of the circle, which is the circle where your apps are going to sit. And I'll show you all this in a second. So you can just check that off right there. And you can choose the circle size as well and the opacity of the circle. And once you've configured it to your liking, you can actually scroll up and just hit respring, and it will respring your device. And here we are at the lock screen. As you can see at the bottom, I have this dot right here that I touch, and this is the tweak. As you can see, I can drag on top of any of these apps, and if I release, it's going to open the application just like that. So it gets you to the apps that you want to get to as soon as you possibly could get there. And I'll just show you some of the other things that I customized. So I did disable the normal unlocking on iOS 7, so if I just swipe like I normally do, it's not going to work. However, Jelly Lock, if you touch the dot, as you can see, there's a little unlock icon right there, and if I just drag on that, that's how you normally unlock your device with Jelly Lock 7. However, you can have, again, the normal unlock method enabled as well. And there is also the camera shortcut to the other side, and that's how you access the camera app. Again, you can have the camera grabber enabled, but I don't really see the point if you could just have the shortcut right there. And I did also customize the circle to be red where the apps sit on top of. As you can see, that has applied. So it's a very good tweak. Definitely go check it out in Cydia. Again, it's called Jelly Lock 7, and it's free. And the next tweak I'm going to show you guys is called Eclipse. It's 99 cents in Cydia on the Big Boss repo, and of course I will include the spelling for the tweak and the developer's Twitter name down below in the description. So once you have installed it, you want to go into settings on your device, and you're going to scroll down, of course, until you see Eclipse, and you're going to go in there, and you want to make sure the tweak is enabled. Now what this tweak is going to allow you to do is have a nice dark theme throughout iOS 7, so once you have enabled it, you will need to respring your device in order to apply the changes, or reboot. So I am going to just respring quickly using a different tweak that I have installed that allows me to respring. However, rebooting is fine as well. Again, respring or reboot your device in order to apply the changes. And my device is now back up after respringing, and I'm just going to open up the settings app to show you guys what I'm talking about. As you can see, you have this really nice dark theme enabled. And again, anywhere that the new light theme that Apple implemented with iOS 7 is present, this dark theme will now show. So for example, the Messages app, as you can see here, looks really good with this dark theme. However, there are applications that don't look the best. For example, the Calendar app, I think, needs some work, as you can see with this, with these white lines like this. Again, and there is actually an option in the settings app if you go down to Eclipse for experimental right here. So darken UI views, and I would recommend you actually keep this disabled for now. And you can actually go to the blacklist, which is basically the application blacklist, which is going to disable Eclipse in certain applications that you enable here. So, you know, something like Calendar, I would recommend you do disable that until, again, there is an update that makes that look a little bit better. And again, you could actually darken the wallpapers as well and enable an orange tint, which I'm going to show you right now. And again, after you change any of these settings, you will actually have to respring your device. So I'm just going to quickly respring. I'm going to go use that tweak that I used earlier and respring. But again, rebooting is fine. So now I'm going to open up the calendar app and show you guys how it looks now with experimental off. You can see it does look a little bit better. However, it's not that unified because, again, there's this really white area in the center and then these dark borders. But again, hopefully the developer will update this and fix these issues. And you did also see when I was in there the orange tint to the back buttons and other buttons. And I'll go into settings and show you guys. So if we go into general, you can see I now have the back button is this orange tint. And then that does look really good with the dark theme. And it's a very good tweak. Again, it's called Eclipse. It's 99 cents in Cydia. It's definitely just really good to get this nice dark theme on your device. I do like the looks of it. And hopefully there will be some updates just to fix those minor problems that I was mentioning. But again, it's called Eclipse. It's 99 cents in Cydia. Go check it out. And the next tweak I'm going to show you guys is called Multitasking Gestures. It's 99 cents on Cydia on the Big Boss repo. And of course, I will include both the spelling for this tweak and the developer's Twitter name down below in the description. Once you have purchased and installed the tweak, what you guys want to do is go into settings on your device, scroll down, and you can configure this tweak. And what this tweak will allow you to do is have certain gestures on it that you would normally be able to access on an iPad, on your iPhone, or iPod Touch. And these gestures are to close apps, invoke the app switcher, switch apps, just very easily. So I'm going to show you some of the options. So basically, if you have the switch app gesture enabled, it's going to allow you to switch applications just by swiping from left to right like this on the edge of any app to switch between apps in your app switcher. And if you want to restrict it in certain apps, you can do that. So if you're using an application or a game that requires a lot of swiping from left to right, you should enable it so it disables, so you're not going to find yourself accidentally switching applications. So again, just for certain applications, you can choose that you want this option to be disabled. And if I go back, there is the recognition area, and you could configure whether you want the entire edge of the screen to be sensitive to your swipe or just the top half or bottom half. And the close app gesture, if that's enabled, it's going to allow you to swipe up from the bottom of the screen to close apps just like this. And the same thing, you could restrict it in certain apps if you're, again, if you were swiping up from the screen in certain applications a lot and you don't want to accidentally close apps, you could restrict it using these toggles here. And again, it's just certain apps that you don't want it to be enabled in, that you're going to be doing that gesture a lot. I would recommend that you enable. Same thing, recognition area, you could have the left half, the right half, or the entire bottom. And the last option is Control Center. And there is an option to move to the Notification Center. And the reason that the Control Center is being moved to the Notification Center is because the swipe up gesture from the bottom conflicts with the normal Control Center gesture, which is the exact same thing. So if I pull down my Notification Center, as you can see, I have the normal today and all tabs, of course, but I have this new Control Center tab, and that's going to replace the missed tab. And you can do everything that you normally do from your Control Center just in Notification Center. And if you disable that, I'm going to show you guys what happens. I'll just disable it. And after you do change that particular option, you guys will have to respring. So just click the button right there and then confirm it by pressing it again. So my device is back from respringing, and if I'm on the home screen and I pull up from the bottom just like normal, I'll get the Control Center. However, if I am in an application and I use the same gesture, it's going to do the same thing that it normally does, of course, allow me to exit to the home screen. However, inside of applications, it's not going to give me access to Control Center. And of course, my Notification Center is back to normal with the missed tab like always. But again, you just cannot access Control Center in applications with the Move Control Center to Notification Center option disabled. So I'll just go back into settings, and again, you could enable or disable that depending on your personal preference right here. But again, after you toggle this particular option, you will have to respring your device in order to apply the change. And you can actually also invoke the app switcher by a 3 or 4 fingered swipe up. And that works from the home screen and both in apps. So if I'm in settings, I can do the same thing. And there you go, I'm in the app switcher. And there is also an option with this tweak that will allow you to exit out of applications with the same 4-fingered pinch that you use to actually invoke the app switcher that I just talked about. If you pinch inside an application like this, you could close apps just like that. Again, I'll just do the same thing again. The 4 or 3-fingered pinch just like this, you can actually close out, as you can see, exit applications just like this. And again, that's just another one of those iPad gestures that's very useful that you can now enable on your iPhone or iPod Touch. And it's a very good tweak. Again, it's called Multitasking Gestures. It's available in Cydia for $1.50. I would absolutely go check this out if you want the same multitasking gestures that you do get on an iPad, on your iPhone or iPod Touch. And the next tweak I'm going to show you guys is called Clip Shot. It's available for free on the Big Boss repo, and of course I will include the spelling for the tweak and the developer's Twitter name down below in the description. Once you have installed it, what it will allow you to do is it'll allow you to choose where you want your screenshots to be saved. So normally when you take a screenshot on iOS, just click the home and power buttons. It'll just automatically save it to your camera roll. But this tweak gives you an option to save it to the camera roll, of course, or save it to the clipboard so you could paste it in an email, text message, or iMessage. So if I just normally save it to the camera roll, of course, if I go into the Photos app or Camera app, it's just going to be there normally where I could do whatever I want with it. However, with this tweak, if I just take a screenshot, I have this other option to save it to the clipboard, and if I do that, what it's going to allow me to do is paste it again in an email or iMessage and not even have to save it in my camera roll. And if I just show you, I'm going to go into the Messages app and I'll just paste it in a new message to show you guys. As you can see, there it is. And again, it's not saved in my camera roll, and I don't have to clog out my device with several screenshots. And you can configure some settings. If you go into the Settings app and scroll down until you see Clip Shot, you can just go in there, and there is the default action setting. And by default, it is on Ask, and I would recommend you keep it there. And basically what this option does is you can set it so it automatically saves to your camera roll, which is just like normal without this tweak, or you could have it so it automatically saves to the clipboard, so it doesn't ask you and give you that prompt that it normally does. However, I would again recommend that you keep it on Ask so you could choose directly when you take a screenshot what you want to do with it. And if I just go back into the settings, there's this option, Always Copy to Clipboard. And basically what this option will allow you to do if you have it enabled is save it to both the camera roll and the clipboard automatically whenever you take a screenshot. And the Show Camera Flash option is as it sounds. When you take a screenshot, it normally shows the flash on the screen. If you want to disable that, it's just going to, again, just play the sound and not play the flash. And you could also disable the sound. And if you have both of these disabled at the same time, it's just going to give no recognition that you even took a screenshot, except for the prompt if you have that enabled. And the next option is Photo Stream for Screenshots. And if you have this option disabled, what it's going to do is it's going to disable when you take a screenshot and save it to your camera roll. It's going to disable it from uploading to Photo Stream like it normally does. And this just helps your iCloud not get so clogged up. Again, it'll just make your iCloud just a little bit cleaner, so it's not going to upload all those screenshots that you do take to your camera roll. However, if you do want your screenshots to be uploaded to PhotoStream, just leave that on and it'll act like it normally does. And the last setting is Notify Application. And normally when you take a screenshot inside of an application, the app knows about it. And if you have this enabled, basically it's just going to notify the application like it normally does, but if it's disabled, the app won't know about it. It's a very good tweak. It's called Clip Shot, and it's available on Cydia for free. Go check it out. And the fifth and final tweak I'm going to show you guys today is called Springtomize 3 iOS 7. And this tweak is $2.99 in Cydia, and it is just a massive tweak. Basically, it's just going to allow you to customize your springboard at such a high level. It's just amazing. So once you have installed the tweak, you'll have an icon on your springboard titled Springtomize. Also, if you go into the Settings app on your device and scroll down to the bottom, you're going to find the Springtomize 3 options there. And in here, the same preferences panel is found inside the app, so it doesn't matter which one you configure it from, it's the same thing. And in here, there are just so many options to configure. As you can see, animations, app slider, control center, dock, folders, icons, the lock screen, the pages, the status bar. There's just so many things to configure. And there's so many that I'm not going to show you all of it, but you could configure all this on your own. I'll just go into a few settings to show you how much you can configure with this tweak. As you can see, there's just so much detail and just complete customization of your device that you could get with this tweak. And I will show you one of my favorite options, which is under the dock. It's just the cover flow. If I enable that and you go back, and after you change any settings here, you have to respring. Just click respring at the top and hit respring, and it will automatically respring your device. And as you can see, I now have this cool effect on my dock. As you can see, the applications kind of go in and out when it's going from left to right. It's a really cool effect. It's called cover flow, and you can also enable that on the home screen if you want to, but I think it looks really good with the iOS dock. And again, there's just so many things you could configure with this. You know, there's just tons and tons of settings. Pretty much every single aspect of your device you can customize using this tweak. And again, it's called Springtomize 3. It's available for iOS 7. You could download it in Cydia for $2.99. Go check it out. And thanks for watching this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, be sure to leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys later.